Welcome to our Mountain Folk Vault series of interviews. I'm Dave Kline. Through the past 35 years on the Mountain Folk Show, as of 2014-2015, we've had a lot of great artists come and join us on the mountain to talk about their life and times and music. Rhonda Vincent has been one of those artists who has shared herself with us on many occasions. So here are some interview segments from the past with, I call her, the queen of bluegrass music, Rhonda Vincent. Hi, Rhonda. This is Eastside Dave from the Mountain Folk Radio and Web Show.
Hi there.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good.
Listen, first of all, congratulations. You haven't been on the Mountain Folk Show since 2001. I looked up in our archives, and since that time...
Are you kidding me?
2001, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's about time, huh?
Well, yes, you've done a lot during that time. I mean, we play your music all the time, but actually you coming on the mountain and being with us is a rare treat, and I'm glad you could be here with us.
Well, thank you.
7th year in a row for you, Rhonda, the International Bluegrass Music Association Female Vocalist of the Year. Are you kidding me, girl? You're on fire.
Well, thank you.
How's that feel? It's got to feel great.
It is wonderful. It is absolutely incredible. I am so honored, and it's just so amazing. A writer was telling me that's, I guess, a record for any genre of music, 7 consecutive vocalist awards. So I'm even doubly and triply honored. It's just incredible, and I appreciate it so very much.
As a matter of fact, you broke your own record. I believe you were the person holding the 6-year-in-a-row record for the IBMA female vocalist, and now you are the undisputed champ at 7 years.
I guess so.
And Rhonda, that's because you're a tremendously talented and gifted vocalist, and you've been that way ever since you were a teenager. I heard you sing when you were a teenager, and your voice is just as clear and sweet as it has ever been, and stronger and more mature, and this is why you're doing such a great job in the studio, and it's just a thrill to hear you sing, and I really enjoyed watching your DVD. And you do a lot of great music there. And you're going to be coming to our town, our area, the Mountain Folk Homeplace in West Reading at the Scottish Rite Theater on January 13th, 2007. So I thought the folks would want to get to meet you just a little bit and get to hear what Rhonda Vincent's all about. And oh, by the way, also,
well, that's
Rhonda,
really nice.
Yeah, congratulations also on your Album of the Year award. You were included in that Album of the Year. Very good cause. Tell the folks about that.
Yeah, well, it's Musicians Against Childhood Cancer, and it's an album that when you purchase that, you're contributing to, the research for childhood cancer. So it's a great cause, it's a great project, and yes, it won Album of the Year, and I was really proud to be part of that.
Well, if I give a description for bluegrass music, especially to someone who's never heard of bluegrass before, first of all, I think it's the perception of the listener, because if you ask a lot of people, do you like bluegrass music, they would tell you no. And I have a lot of people who come to the shows, and the husband will say, I like bluegrass, but my wife doesn't like bluegrass, but she likes you. And that's something I think that we attempt to do, is to appeal to a broad audience. We have the songs from CMT and GAC and the video songs that will relate to radio, to country music radio. And then we also do the straight-ahead traditional in-your-face bluegrass. And I think I like both. The basic premise of bluegrass music, it's all acoustic. It's kind of what you see is what you get. You could be singing under the tree, or you could be singing on the stage, and it's pretty much the same thing. You're going to hear the same voices and the same instrumentation or the same sounds from those instruments. But bluegrass music is acoustic instruments, an acoustic guitar, normally an acoustic stand-up bass, a banjo, a mandolin, and a fiddle, and sometimes a dobro. But it's those collaboration of instruments really make up, I think, what the standard of bluegrass beginning is. There's the Newgrass Revival, the band who took it beyond that, playing very progressive music. And then, once you have the instruments, you have the songs that you pick, and how contemporary or how traditional are they? I know the perimeters that I feel that I have to stay within, and I almost didn't put Jolene on my album because I felt like it almost ventured outside those perimeters. But instead, I found that it's one of our most requested songs because it appeals almost to everyone.
Well, the music traces back to at least 5 generations of the Vincent family. I guess more than that now with my daughters, because they sing, and Darren has children, so that tradition was probably extended now to at least 6 generations. They were performing and playing before I was ever thought of, and it wasn't like a career or a business. It was a way of life. Growing up, it wasn't a choice. This is just what we did, and you didn't think about it, you didn't analyze it. It's like music was the entire focus of our family. And a friend of mine told me a few years ago that we were so involved in the music, and it was just that every day. And she thought that when we grew up that we would get completely away from it, but she said instead that we grew to love it. And I'm so thankful for my father and the life of music that he gave us, and just the teaching. I mean, every day when I came home from school, my grandfather and my father were waiting, and we played until dinner. And when dinner was over, friends came over, and we played till bedtime. And just to grow up around music like that, I feel very fortunate.
That is truly fantastic. I wonder how many of our listeners would long to have that kind of a heritage. So many children these days are growing up in the society where, well, parents aren't home a whole lot, and that's the way it goes. You got to work and so forth. So instead, we have the television and
computers. Yes,
yeah, computers.
I know exactly what you mean. I look at my daughters, but I can't bring myself to force them to do what I did. I just haven't been able to do that.
Yeah.
They have other interests. I mean, they listen to my music and things, but they have other things that they like to do, and just so long as they're happy, that's what we want them to do.
You're also now the official America's Bluegrass girl in many people's minds, including my own. You picked up the famous Martha White Flower Company sponsorship. And for the folks that aren't familiar with this, Rhonda, this is a big deal. Tell the folks how exciting that really is and how it came to be and what's Martha White all about, because, some people don't know this stuff.
Well, it's a baking company, mostly in the South, but it's now in pretty much all around the country if you look in your store and I guess request it. But it's the longest continuous running sponsor of the Grand Ole Opry. And in the tradition of Flatt and Scruggs and several others, we are sponsored by them. We represent their company. We sing their song, the original Martha White theme, and each time we do, they provide us with Martha White T-shirts we get to throw out to the folks. I'm sure we'll be doing that when we're visiting there in January. And we travel in the Martha White Bluegrass Express, which is a state-of-the-art tour bus. We just got a brand-new tour bus, I guess 1 year ago, and they custom designed it just for us. And we've never been in a brand-new bus before, so we love that very much. We love to sing their song and appreciation for all of the things that they do for us.
So you mean to tell me when you roll into the Scottish Rite Theater in West Reading on January 13th, you're going to roll in that big old Martha White bus?
Yes, we will.
Oh, man.
A lot of kids see it now. It's got Martha White blueberry muffins and cornbread on the side of it, pictures of that. But if you look at that, kids will see it and say, I love your cookie bus. Do you have any cookies? So
That's great. Hey, are you any good at baking, on your own?
I am. I can bake and cook. I'm a good cook. When I'm cooking, I don't really have time these days much to cook, but we have a convection oven. It's a microwave and a convection oven on the Martha White Bluegrass Express, so we do a little baking on there too.
Wow.
And you know what? It's quick and easy to bake with Martha White these days. You just add milk, and in about 15 minutes you have fresh, homemade, delicious blueberry muffins. And they always say, bake right with Martha White.
Martha White. Yes, sir. You better believe it. Or in this case now, we have to say, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to be on a grueling touring schedule right now. I'm looking at your website. It's like, wow, Rhonda's everywhere, and then later on she's going to go over to Europe. And how are you holding up?
I'm holding up pretty good. My voice is a little scratchy today. We've been outside, and it's the way it gets cooler this fall. It's catching up with me a little bit, but we'll be moving inside now, and it'll be just great. I'm enjoying it. We take off December, and we start right back in January. This has got to be living the dream, Rhonda, huh? It really is. It really is. I'm so very fortunate, and I appreciate all of the wonderful things and this wonderful life that I get to live. So you were born and raised in Green Top, Missouri, about 12 to 15 miles north of Kirksville in north central Missouri. Is that right? That's right. Okay, now listen, years ago I went over there and visited some friends of mine, the Bressler brothers, and played on the Current River Opry. It's an ongoing opry they have there. Yeah, go ahead. Really? Oh, absolutely. I did. Oh, my goodness. I just saw them a couple of nights ago in Eminence, Missouri. How about that? It is a small world, isn't it? Yeah, it really is, and I communicate with them, and I was asking them if they ever really knew you in person or whatever, and they sent me a nice letter back and told me all about some things. One of the things they told me, and I love this because it makes people like yourself who are so celebrated, especially right now with all your talent being recognized, but it makes you real for the folks that are listening. You know, folks, here's a story. My friends Catherine and Alvin Bressler from Eminence, Missouri, apparently, before Rhonda was the Martha White girl and American's Bluegrass sweetheart and so forth, you know, well, you were making the festival circuit. You were staying in a hotel there. Right. And apparently you needed some milk. Do you know about that story? I do know about that story. Yeah, apparently. Now, I'm a milk connoisseur, and so I daily always in the search for milk, and we were in Eminence where they didn't even have telephones or televisions in the hotel room. And so they kind of closed down the entire town around 4 or 5 o'clock, and this is midnight at night. And so, yes, Mrs. Bressler made a milk delivery, a midnight milk delivery.
They are sweet, sweet people.
They really are. So she's the milk lady for me.
They raised these Missouri Coonhound dogs when I was out there, and I fell in love with a couple puppies. They said, "Well, take 2 home." I said, "Oh, I can't do that."
Oh, wow.
I would have loved to, though. You are still, aside from the Grand Ole Opry, which is a wonderful, wonderful place to play, you're still playing festivals like, for instance, your own, the Sally Mountain Festival, and you're still picking with young and old folks alike. I noticed that on the DVD. I mean, it's really great to see Rhonda Vincent, who is now truly, by anybody's standards, a big, big star in music, just getting down there and picking with the folks, Does it still feel good to do it?
That's what it's about. That's what it's about, and I love meeting new songwriters. We have lots of new songs on our new album, and performing with kids. There's such incredible musicians now that are, young people. And I am really amazed, and I just became aware of this because my daughter just transferred to ETSU over in Johnson City, Tennessee, and she joined the music program, had no interest in music whatsoever, was going a completely different path, and somehow at the urging, I think of maybe my fiddle player whom she dates, Mr. Hunter Berry, and some other musician friends, they urged her to go to ETSU, and do you know they have 12 bluegrass bands there at ETSU, and she is part of one of those bands now. I guess their name is Hot Biscuits and Jam, so that's pretty fitting too, huh?
Absolutely. That's great when somebody in your family, this is what you did. You came up through your family with your father and everybody else used to gather around the house. And, I mean, you truly did play music almost every night, didn't you?
I did. My dad picked me up from school every day. We played till dinner, and after dinner, friends would come over. And folks just knew that, the Vincent family would have music party every night in the community. So folks would stop by, and we played till bedtime. So that was every night. And I'm so glad that my daughter is also enjoying the musician friends and picking with friends like that.
Those are some of the best times on stage, I'm sure.
And I tell you what, I'm going to have to go. I've really enjoyed talking to you. I appreciate it very much, and I can't wait to see you.
Okay, thanks, Rhonda. We'll see you on January 13th.
All righty, go to RhondaVincent.com. You can find out where we're going to be, and I'll hope to see you then.
Okay, take care, Rhonda.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Rhonda Vincent, and you're listening to the Mountain Folk Radio and Web Show on the Mountain Laurel Network. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, this is Rhonda Vincent wishing you a happy holiday season. You're listening to Mountain Folk. Thanks for tuning in.
Those interview segments with Rhonda Vincent on our Mountain Folk Show were recorded back in November of 2006. One of my best and most favorite playing and performing experiences personally is when I worked a show. That particular show, she was talking about the Scottish Rite Theatre in West Reading with Rhonda Vincent and her band, The Rage, and my own band, the Mountain Folk Band. She was gracious. She was wonderful. She invited us to come on stage at the very end and perform with her band, and we did a gospel medley. And nothing but class all the way. So we hope you enjoyed the interview segments with Rhonda Vincent for the Mountain Folk Vault interview series. This is Dave Kline.